Star Wars has a long history of video games. Since the early 80s, gamers have been able to experience the Star Wars universe firsthand with a plethora of entertaining titles. Recently I streamed a playthrough of Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader for the GameCube, and it reminded me of all the fun I used to have playing these games, immersing myself in the gameplay and how these games added to the hot lore of Star Wars. As I flew through the skies, blasting TIEs and taking down Star Destroyers, I rediscovered how much fun Rogue Leader is, and it gave me an idea. I want to go back and revisit some of these games and see if they're still as good as I remember them, or if time has not been kind. I want to play these games in as close to original condition as I can. Unfortunately, with time and cost restraints, this might not always be possible, so I might need to employ some creative methods. I also want to try and avoid the current releases on platforms like Steam and GOG. I may use them eventually, but this series is about playing the games the way I played them way back when. I've also come up with a rating system to let you know how well these games have aged. There's Stormtrooper Aim, always a miss. Return to Tatooine, fun for a while but gets old quick. One More Pass, worth a replay. Or I Know, so good. With all that said, I welcome you to the first episode of Star Wars Playtime. One of the first games I remember owning is X-Wing for the PC. Being able to jump into the cockpit of the titular X-Wing along with the A-Wing, B-Wing, Y-Wing and other non-wing spacecraft and live out some of the most iconic battles in Star Wars history was an amazing feeling. Then I was able to get into the minds of these pilots in the X-Wing series of novels by Michael A. Stackpole and Aaron Alston and read of their exploits throughout a galaxy far, far away. There was even a scene in the first X-Wing book where the pilots are training in a mission from the X-Wing PC game. So when the GameCube released in 2002 in Australia, and one of the launch titles was Rogue Leader, I had to have it. I spent so much time in my local EB Games trying my damn best to finish the first level within the demo time limit. Luckily I still have my old GameCube and a copy of Rogue Leader, so I was able to use it for this playthrough. I've connected it to my TV with an upscaler to 1080p and was using a wireless Wavebird controller. You start off as Red 5 at the Battle of Yavin, and what a mission that is. Entering Luke Skywalker's shoes as a rookie pilot fighting against the Empire. The third mission is the Battle of Hoth, where you start as Luke until his speeder gets shot down, then you take over as Wedge Antilles for the rest of the game. As you go through, you earn medals that unlock bonus missions, including a couple that let you unleash the dark side of the Force and play as the Empire. I was quite impressed with the game. At no times did it feel hard to control. I had some issues with camera and flight orientation when it came to destroying the shield generators on the underside of Star Destroyers, but other than that it was pretty smooth. I had some issues spotting enemy spacecraft against some of the backgrounds, but the targeting computer helped with that. And it added to the lore of Star Wars as well. One of the missions was to steal a shuttle for General Quix Nadine that would be used by Han Solo and the Rebel Strike Team to infiltrate the shield of the second Death Star. Another had you stealing fuel for the Rebellion to launch into the Battle of Endor. Everything added to the overall story of Star Wars. The lack of checkpoints in some missions got a bit frustrating though, particularly in the Raid on Bespin mission. There are 3 stages to it: blowing up the gun platforms as the tankers raid the fuel storage, destroying the power generators so tankers can proceed, then protecting the tankers from TIE bombers. I found myself running out of lives and getting a game over screen, then having to start right back from the beginning again. The number of times I got to that last section and died almost made me rage quit. It's a small thing, but I found myself dying a fair bit at the beginning because of the lack of rumble feature on the Wavebird controller. I adjusted, but I didn't realise how used to a vibrating controller I'd become. I think there could have been a lot of lives saved if I'd realised that I was getting shot with the controller vibration rather than reverting back to just audio and visual clues. Just one of those features that you know you used to play without, but now that it's always there you don't know how you used to do it. I should state as well that if I was playing with a corded GameCube controller I wouldn't have that problem, but because I'm playing with the Wavebird it doesn't have the rumble feature. Overall, playing through Rogue Leader was as much fun as when it first came out. Flying the iconic Star Wars spacecraft was a pleasure, and there was enough of a difference between them that making decisions about which craft to use on which mission gave you a tactical advantage. The game itself is fairly short, but the medal system extends its replayability and rewards you for going back to improve by giving you new challenges. Even the complaint I have about the camera only surfaces under a specific condition that occurs a couple of times. And if I was playing with a corded controller, I'd get the rumble feedback. These are fairly minor complaints that barely had an impact on my enjoyment of the game. With that in mind, I give this game my rating of I know. Oh my god, this brings back memories. An old LucasArts logo, man. I miss that logo. How cool was it?